Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of our monthly webcast series, Aftermarket Intelligence Unlocked. I'm Pechi, head of Tavant, Data and AI at Tavant. It's a fantastic to have you join us today. Every last Friday of the month, we spend 30 minutes hearing from industry experts about what's changing, what's working, and what's next in the manufacturing aftermarket space. Before we deep dive into AI agents, a couple of quick housekeeping points. This webcast is being recorded. You will receive a playback copy afterward. We also encourage you to ask questions. Use Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to type your questions, and we'll get you as many as we can. And the field service complexity, we know that it is growing. There are more connected devices, raising customer expectations, skilled labor and shortages, pressure for efficiencies. In today's fast-paced world, the field service isn't just about fixing things, it's about delivering exceptional customer experience and optimizing every step of the journey. But how can we achieve this without with growing demand and shrinking resources? Now, in today's that we are talking about AI agents is an ally. It's going to help us to fundamentally transform the field service operations and empower your most valuable asset, which is your field service technician. Now I'm going to be introducing the audience. Joining us today, Mr. Harikiran, Mannem, Director Project Management at Tavant. Hari oversees project execution at Tavant, ensuring smooth deliveries on project management and key technologies. With a strong experience, I'm joining with Tavant as well, going to talk about how AI agents is going to be transforming the field service experience. Before we begin, a brief introduction about Tavant. At Tavant, we are dedicated to transform aftermarket operations with powerful data-driven AI agent-powered solutions. Our goal is to equip comprehensive insights and strategies, enhance both productivity and customer experience. Without further ado, let's deep dive into today's sessions. I'll hand it over to Speaker Hari. Hari, over to you.
Thanks, Pechi. Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about our hero here, the technician, and everyday challenges faced by them across industries. Challenges that not only slow down work, but also limit the quality of service, efficiency, and finally leading to the customer satisfaction. And again, what do technicians do? Again, they do install and commission new assets out in the field. They do maintenance and repairs of existing assets, troubleshooting on the breakdowns, on-site breakdowns, and again, documenting and doing the work logs, maintaining all the compliance needed for the units and all, and again, in the end, doing upgrades and modifications for the units. Again, some of the challenges, let's walk through some of the most pressing ones right now. The first one is lack of visibility into the problem. Again, the first and most critical challenge is simply understanding the issue at hand. Technicians are often called to fix something without a clear view of what's wrong. There's no diagnostic summary, no early warning, and no context. They're essentially going in blind. This lack of visibility delays resolution time, increases guesswork, and even result in repeat visits if the problem isn't fully fixed the first time. Right? The next one is again identifying the fault detection. Again, it purely depends upon technician's own experience and intuition. Again, well, experienced technicians can figure out things immediately. It's still time-consuming and error-prone process. And for far less experienced staff, this becomes even a major barrier. And the next one is again lack of visibility into their daily work. A common frustration is again they are not knowing what they're doing in the day. They often receive fragmented job assignments, unclear priorities, or last-minute changes, and this chaos leads to inefficient routing, wasted time, and lower productivity. And not the next challenge is again lack of visibility into the asset history itself. They do not know what was earlier done, earlier repairs, what maintenance was done on the unit. Are they trying to fix the same problem third time in the last 6 months? This context is very, very critical for them, and lack of that context is not going to help them fix the problem correctly. The next one is having the right tools and the right parts for the job. Again, visibility into that. For any job, identifying the right tools or right parts is going to be the key. This means having not to have to make a second trip for it. It reduces customers' frustrations, increase costs, and reduces technician efficiency as well. The next one is again having access to all the up-to-date technical resources. With equipment changing faster nowadays, more technologies coming into each of the units, technicians need to update themselves. Again, lack of access to the latest manuals, schematics, or how-to videos, or training videos, or technicians spending a lot of time digging through different systems, different applications, contacting the support, and all of that is going to affect their productivity. And then technicians spend a lot of time documenting what they're doing, writing reports. Instead of, I think, the wrench time, they're spending less time on wrench and more time on this repetitive workflows and tasks. I think that is one challenge they face a lot. We should empower them to do more wrench work and less documenting and doing these repetitive workflows. And last but not least is again lack of visibility into the maintenance itself. Right, all of the maintenance is more of a reactive maintenance, fixing the things after they fail. The technicians doesn't have insights into predictive maintenance and understanding doing the repair ahead of time rather than doing it after the failure. And technicians also doesn't have much access to the IoT data, kind of helping them guide diagnostic faster and doing the resolution faster. And again, to wrap up, technicians across industries face a wide array of challenges, not because they lack skills, but because they often lack the digital tools and intelligent systems that could amplify their abilities. The question is no longer, can we afford to bring AI into the technician's toolkit? The real question is, can we afford not to? Thank you. I think my colleague Pechi will guide you how AI can solve some of the problems I just spoke about. Over to you, Pechi.
Thanks, Hari. Thanks, Hari. So let's see how these AI agents are really going to help our hero here. So let's before we deep dive into some of those agents, let us try to understand. Let's set the context on what does AI agent means. This is more than just chatbot. Chatbot, we've been using this chatbot for a while, but it is more than just a chatbot. It's an intelligent system that can understand and process information, and it can learn from what the user is really asking, and it can understand the reason, understand the context, and it can interact. So it can interact with a human, it can interact with another workflow systems, it can interact with another AI agent, so it can interact through the multiple jobs. So that's what the intelligent system really does. And the second point here is it is not to replace any human. I don't believe, or at least the industry does not believe that it is going to replace the technicians into this. It is definitely it's going to augment on what they really doing it, and some of the problems that Hari talked about. It's definitely it's going to help into solve some of those issues, and we'll see how those issues can be solved. From an agentic standpoint, there are multiple type of agents that we have. So one is something like a conversational AI, more popular now. It's similar to ChatGPT and Google Gemini and different agentic approaches that are available in the market. And there are also some export systems. Like I said, it can understand the context, it can understand what the user is really asking, it can provide you that. And there are some predictive analytic engines, that can be built in and integrated into a tractor. It could be integrated into an HVAC machines. It can be integrated into heavy equipment sensors like that. The agents can be sitting onto your equipment itself. Those are all still an AI engine that can understand what the engine is talking about, and it can perform an action. These agents are primarily built on using technologies such as like NLP. NLP plays a major role. It can understand the technician questions, understand the customer descriptions, and the machine learning is another component from the the data science world. It learn and historical jobs, and it can understand multi-language. It can understand the repair manuals, and also it can understand the IoT sensors data, like the data comes as like DTC error events, starting to correlate between multiple sensors in an equipment. It can understand and it can do that. There are frameworks available right now. And from a database standpoint, there are something like knowledge graph and contextual understanding, reasoning. Those are all some of the technologies that plays into part of these agents. That's how the agents are really coming into the industry at this moment. Now, so far what we saw here is we just talked about what is really an AI agent. Now, let's try to understand how some of these key use cases can solve the problem, that Hari talked about it. How does it really support our hero here? Now, when it comes to the real-time troubleshooting and diagnostics, let's take a scenario. Scenario is, technician at on-site, and he's unfamiliar about the equipment. Now, what AI agent can do here is AI agent can give them a step-by-step guided diagnostic and access to semantics, access to fault codes. Let's say, I'm visiting a place, I don't understand anything about the equipment. I have a very small summary of what the problem is. And the agent can exactly provide you the information about what the product is, what type of fault code that it has seen in the last few days. And it can also give you a recommended fix from the technician manuals, even video tutorials. It can provide you that. So it helps you to faster diagnostic that issue, reduce the truck rolls, and improve the first time fix rates. That's one of the primary metrics that we look at it. Those are the things it really helps in terms of coming into the real time diagnostics. Now coming into the predictive maintenance. Now let's take a scenario, in terms of moving from reactive breaks to proactive prevention. And an example, let's take an example in an industrial pump vibration sensor data, monitors these AI agents and shows a slight anomaly. Now AI agent can predict a bearing failure within next 2 weeks and automatically it flags and it provides a preventive maintenance visit, alerting the technicians and it can definitely uh, avert the costly usage. So that can really help in terms of your customers, your field service technicians to really understand what exactly those issues are, and it can even schedule the visit before even the preventive maintenance things can occur. So that's where the preventive maintenance failure prediction can really help. Now, the major help for the hero is the knowledge gap. So most of the technicians may have the legacy foundational knowledge about how to fix most of these issues, but some of the new products that are coming into the market, they may not be able to understand, they may not be able to correlate between different failures. This is where the knowledge base can really help. The agent can understand the context, whether you're a technician, whether you are a call center, or whether you are somebody who's a customer who's asking questions. It can understand the context. Based on the context, it can provide you those answers. So here again, the agent is really helping in the industry in terms of providing input just by asking questions. Then the last bottom two that I wanted to touch upon is related to the optimized routing and scheduling here. So let's say, let's take in some example here. There is a urgent emergency repair came in. Now, the AI agent, what can it do is, it can understand the closest available technician with the necessary, certifications of your equipment type and reroutes them and notifies the customers of the updated ETA and minimizing disruptions. It can understand where the technician is, how long it's going to take for them to fill this job, whether this technician is capable of servicing this, and it can provide you an immediate response if there is an emergency situation and emergency cases, so that you can improve your customer satisfaction. Now finally the automated reporting. This is where I think Hari talked about it, more wrench time and less documentation time. The AI agent can understand so far what has happened while the technician is taking pictures, doing handwritings, and scanning multiple informations while he's on the job. The agent can understand those context, and then it can summarize what the issues are and what the technician really did to fix those issues, and it automatically generate a work order summary here. Those are all some of the use cases that I wanted to touch upon. By the way, there's a poll which is running on right now. Please, feel free to participate on the poll and provide your feedback so that we are able to take that as an input for us to use and refer for our product as well. So far, we talked about what is AI agent and what are some of the use cases in the field service area. Now, most often we hear questions from our customers. Hey, we understand what you're talking about it. We like what you're saying, but what is the practical implementations? Does it really make sense on what you're talking? How do we really start something? Those are the most of the frequent questions that we get to ask when we start talking to customers. So we have some type of a framework that we go with. So just wanted to share those framework here. So always we recommend customers to start something small, identify a key pain points, identify some of the low hanging fruits, and start something small. That's what we would recommend, so that you're able to prove the value, you're able to feel that you're getting the value for your investment, and your technicians are able to rely on the new system that are coming on board, and the system also can learn. The machine learning part can learn and understand what the feedback is from the technician, so that you can grow faster. Then the second point is the data is a king, right? Many organizations, this is another challenge that we come across very often. Hey, we do not have a lot of quality data, or we do not have, the data is spread across multiple places. It's in disparate systems. How do we really do this? Our basic fundamental answer to this is we understand the data is king, and then the AI relies on good, clean data. But one thing in very common our exercises, we look at cleaning the data. Let the technology clean the data. Let the technology provider look at the data, and help in understanding how to structure this data so that the AI agent can perform this job. And I would take help with the technology plus an SME to clean those historical service records and manuals and sensor data before even overwhelming of looking at, hey, how do we really solve these issues? Then the technical adoption is another key important piece when we talk about these agents. One is when a technician is really providing or getting help from these agents, the adoption part really is it's really helping. Sometimes the technician get the feedback saying, hey, the agent is not really helping. I know what I really want. But those times we wanted to take the feedback from these agents, from the technicians, and see why it is not providing, or what is it the complex things that the technician is asking, why the system is not able to provide this. So we need to be using that data. We need to be using that feedback to train the model again and drive the change management. Change management is another important piece. That's where the stakeholders' values are really important. That's where the technician adaptability is really important. We have seen that, and we have done in multiple times in a different way. There are some gaming methods that you could do. There are some training methods that you could do. There are some multiple ways to increase the change management. So whichever the one it works at your organizations, take a look at it and do this. Then choosing the right partner is another one. So most often, people will be asking, hey, how do we know that you are the right partner to start building this? What we would come across and say is, what is the differentiator in terms of whether the partner is looking at an end-to-end solutions for you, or is he looking at only a specific use cases or specific problem that is he trying to solve? And then does the partner have a functional experience as well as the technological experience? So look at both. Then choose your right partner for this. Hari, do you want to just quickly talk about some of the other hype and implementation? What we are seeing.
Yeah, and again, right, integration is the key. Right, you need to understand where your data sources are, where your ERP BOM information is in ERP, how you are getting your IoT data, where do you have your all the knowledge management, how to videos, training videos, right? So the technician should be able to have everything visible in front of him in one app. So integrating into identifying which systems to integrate and how to integrate and what information to grab and training the model based on those informations is very, very important. So again, we come up with a lot of integration experience and identifying and these integrations at the earlier stage is very, very important. And when it's come to security and privacy, again, we need to understand how the data encryption is done at rest and in transit. How are we setting up the role-based access control? How are we we have guardrails for our agents, right? That's very, very important. And the compliance such as GDPR, CCPA, HIPAA, these are very, very important things to consider even before identifying and setting up your agents.
Thanks, Hari.
Thanks.
Yeah, so wanted to touch upon one more item in here while doing the practical implementations. Wanted to talk about how do we really measure the first-time implementation or the first-time agent. So look at it from both perspective, from a functional standpoint. Look at it in terms of, hey, whether is this helping me to improve my first-time fix rate? Does it improve my MTTRs and customer satisfactions? And does it help me to improve the technician efficiencies and cost? So that's from a functional standpoint. Then the second measure, the metrics that you need to look at it from a technology standpoint. Does it integrate with my existing applications? Does it integrate with my existing workflows? How much change do I need to go to make this change in my technologies landscape? So look at it both KPIs and metrics from functional standpoint and technical standpoint when we start thinking about these agents. That's what I would consider. And again, there are question and answers sessions, towards the end. Please feel free to post your questions, and while we are talking about it. So now, Hari, do you want to touch upon the case studies that we have done that for different customers in the field.ai space?
Yeah, I think I'll talk about the scheduling and dispatching. I think this is one of the interesting case where again the right technician schedules are not done based on their skill set or taking into the route or traffic conditions into picture. So the AI agent intelligently identifies the technicians based on the skill. It looks at the repair history, the asset history, everything into consideration. And also it also guides the technicians kind of what kind of parts they need to have there on van to do it a first time fix kind of thing. So it looks at a lot of other factors into consideration to guiding and scheduling the technicians and routing, even kind of in routing during the day itself, right? If there is a technician stuck in traffic based on the priority of the job, kind of letting other technician who are nearby who can do it, who has the right skill set to do it and the right parts to do it. So it's kind of dynamically changing the routing and the scheduling part.
Got it. There are a couple of questions that we received in the Q&A section. Those are all some interesting questions that we wanted to address it probably towards the end. Feel free to post your questions. So before we go into the question and answer section, let's quickly talk about another case study here, which is the Triage AI agent. What this really does is the problems we often hear from our technicians are, hey, I understand what the service request is, but I don't know how to resolve these issues because I need to go through 200 page of technical troubleshooting documents that I need to be looking into this. And for this particular part, this is a newer part for this newer model that came into this picture, and I don't know whether I have this part in my inventory or not. Then there are other challenges, like for example, they talk about in terms of, hey, this information is not even sufficient for me to look at it. Now I need to be chasing down in terms of talking about and getting this information from my earlier work order that was done by different technicians. Let me talk to them. So these are all different challenges it poses. What we try to help here through an agent is we take the existing work order, informations from the existing work orders. So for example, let's say you have 500 technicians and they've been working in multiple, hundreds and thousands of source requests over a period of time in different geographies. We collect their resolutions and the source request and try to map these into a common issues and common resolutions. So when a new technician is going onto the field, it sort of provide you that, hey, this is what your current service request is. For this service request, most likely, 80% of the time, this is what the resolution, this was provided by a different technicians. Would you want to try it? So that's the first step that, the agent, will provide when a technician opens up the service request in this platform. Then the second immediate next step is it provided a diagnostic, guided diagnostics. What we mean by guided diagnostic is it provides you saying, hey, this is the part, it is available in this location. Are you considering this part? Based on the troubleshooting guide, we think that this is the relevant part. And now technician is looking at that issue, looking at the manuals and trying to fix these issues. Now the technician can say yes or no, or he can even say, no, this is not correct. Now then the agent can, give them an information about these are all the codes that, we received from the fault. So how do I resolve those codes? The technicians the AI agent can provide the answers for those technicians. And obviously now we looked at the data management enrichment capabilities while, fixing those issues. That's something that, we built for one of our customers. Obviously, the tech stack is we leveraged the LLMs because LLM is really providing in the last year and a half. It's really helping to understand the meaning, understand the context. In addition to this, we also have an agent orchestration framework. We have a data retrieval and storage framework and front-end frameworks that we have used in the industry. Obviously, DevOps is something we practice for all the projects. Those are all the case studies that we wanted to share with you today. Please feel free to reach out to us if you want more information about these case studies or more information about these agents. We are happy to share our findings and our insights to you all. Now coming into okay, I think in terms of the sessions, I think we are almost there. We just have 2 more minutes to go. Let me see how many questions that we can take it up and do this. One other question is, beyond just automatic and scheduling, what are the most advanced ways AI agents can truly revolutionize on-site field service operations? How can companies best prepare for these shifts? Hari, would you like to touch on this question?
Again, right? Yeah. Again, having the right information, right, even before the technician goes, understanding the asset history, what maintenance it has been done, understanding what kind of failure or repair is, what are the most common repairs or failures, information into kind of how to fix this, having the right parts in your van while you're going ahead of there, right? Understanding how to go there, routing and everything. All this information is going to help guide the technician better understand, or even looking back into what warranties are available, right? What's covered as part of the repair, what the customer has to pay for, right? Even getting into those detailed levels so that they can inform the customer of their responsibility for the repair, and giving all the information up front is going to help the technician a lot. Again, right, having access to all this different information to help them fix the problem in the first time and in the right proper way, following all the compliance and security rules is going to be the top priority.
Thank you, Hari. I think we are nearing the time. We would like to take up one more question if anybody is having it. If not, we'll send you the answers to those questions whoever has asked. Now, just wanted to thank Hari and for your valuable insights today, and thank you for everybody who's joining us and having us talk about and listen to us from the conversations. We'll have another session sometime in June towards end of last Friday. Till then, have a great day, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.